Hi Angie, just finishing the black in this one before I post WIP in the Facebook group. So how are you? Hi Gail. So I'm still working on Victoria's moon. It's looking really good. Drills are very shiny, as you can see, probably, yeah. See that? A new way to show off the shininess of the drill. So this one is a forest scene, and it's basically the sun is shining through the trees, and that's exactly the point we're at just now. And then we've got a lot of the trees are silhouetted, so they're black. And then we've got an old, well, the other trees are all straight, like pine trees. And then the one in the middle is an old gnarly tree, and it's all black. So it's quite a cool image. I think it's going to look really, really nice when it's finished. So I'm still working on it. You're getting ready to start. Yeah, I've been messing about with the software again. I'm actually using a new webcam. I don't think I mentioned it. This is the webcam that Tammy got me for my birthday. And I've been messing about with the software, and that was how we managed to do the dual WIP, where we had Tammy and I were working on our separate projects, and we could see both on the screen at the same time. So that was pretty cool. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to do a little live WIP. And then I thought, hang on a minute, I'm going to see what I can do with this software. So I've added something else, and I don't know if it's going to work because it's all new. So we'll see. I just want to, you know what it's like, you just want to get bits finished. So I'm just going to do this little checkerboardy bit, and then I'll show you what I've done. Build up the tension, the excitement. Okay, I just want to fill in this little bit. You know how it goes. Yeah, I watched back the one where we did the dual one. I wasn't happy with the sound. I'm going to fiddle about a bit more. I think I might have set the mic wrong. I felt that when Tammy was talking, it was a bit sort of warbly, as if it was underwater. But we are reasonably, because I need to put it midway between the tables, we're reasonably far away from the mic. And I have the gain at 0, because if I turn the gain up, then I start to pick up other sounds as well. So it's just a matter of tweaking it until I get it right. So it's all new. I mean, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, but I would like to get it a bit better. The main thing is people can hear us. That's the main thing. So I'll show you what I did, hopefully. So now this is the very first diamond painting I did, and it's a 60 by 60, and it's called the Magic Tree. I got it from Craftology. So that was a baptism of fire. I didn't realise just how small the drills were. I'd watched a lot of YouTube videos before I bought anything. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I'm still fiddling with the software, like I said, but Now I've realised that I can switch between doing the WIP and I've put some of the completed diamond paintings I've done in a slideshow. So I thought it might be an idea for people to see some of the stuff I've done and maybe talk about some of it. So this was the very first one, 60 by 60. If I had not bought a light pad when I bought this, I wouldn't have finished it. There's a lot of dark colours in it, and with the light pad it wasn't a problem, but without the light pad, like very dark green with black writing on it, just I think I would have gave up. And Tammy tells me that I am the most patient person she knows, so yeah, I would definitely recommend a light pad if you think you're going to be doing these things for any length of time. It makes a huge difference. So that was the first one. No idea how long it took. I didn't time it or never even thought about testing how long it took me to do it. It took a while. I mean, I took my time. I wasn't in any rush. I just wanted it to look really good. So, plus I was new, so I'm pretty sure I was very slow. But the end result, I was very, very happy with, and that's the main thing. I mean, that's in the frame with the green border around it. I got it framed in Copenhagen. Went down to a framing. Well, I actually called the guy first and asked him if he had ever framed a diamond painting, and he said, "What is a diamond painting?" So that answered the question. So he was intrigued. I went down, I showed him it, and he said, "Never seen one of these before." And now he's seen quite a few, all from me. But yeah, it took a bit of time. He had all these different colours for the border and different frames and things. So I went with that coloury green and the wooden outline to match the tree sort of thing. So yeah, I think it turned out really, really good. So this was possibly the next one. I'm interested in music, and I saw this on Amazon. It's not very big, and it's round drills. So it was the first round drill that I did. Really wasn't sure what to expect because when I'd been looking at all the YouTube videos and reading things on the net, at the very beginning, I was under the impression that basically if it wasn't square, it wasn't going to look very good. But I saw this and I really liked the picture. Didn't pay attention when I ordered it. It turned up and it was round and it isn't that big. And I thought, it's going to be a mess. Very surprised how well it turned out. Yeah, the fire and water thing. But again, took it to the framer again. Got him to frame it. Just went with the black theme. Again, very, very happy with that one. I haven't made a slideshow of all the ones I've done. It was just today. I just thought, I wonder if I could do that. So the first one was home Craftology. Oh right, okay. Yeah. I never saw your first comment, Gail. Home Craftology have just switched over to poured glue. All of their canvases are now poured glue, which is a big plus because it means you don't have to worry about getting ripples and bubbles in the glue. Customer service is really good. I have had one that I got, the canvas was creased pretty bad, and I took pictures of it, sent the pictures back, and they sent out a replacement. No problem, absolutely no questions asked. So And then I got another one. I think it was just unlucky. There were some threads, some canvas threads were under the glue. And when I did the unboxing, I never even noticed it. But it was when I was getting ready to actually do it, I noticed there were, I think, 3 or 4 threads under the glue. And I thought, I wonder if I could use a craft knife and slice the bubble and pull the thread out. But when I tried to do it, the thread just crumbled up. And so I thought, okay. So I took some pictures and I made a small video of me trying to pick the thread out and sent it to them. And they said, we've never seen that before. Like, we're very sorry, we've never seen that before. We'll send you another canvas. And they did. And I have spoke about it in a video. The thing about customer service, okay, you might get something, there's a flaw in it. To me, the test of the company is how they deal with that, how they deal with the customer, how polite they are, and how they resolve the issue. And to me, mistakes happen with any company. Mistakes happen. It is very frustrating if maybe you've ordered something that you have a time limit, like you want it done by a birthday or by an anniversary or something like that. That's really irritating. But I've got quite a few, like most people, in my diamond painting stash, so it wasn't an urgent one for me. So I'm trying to remember. I think it took 2 weeks to get the new canvas. So I would still say they're very good. Okay, I've had one that was creased, and I had one that had the threads under the glue. So okay, I've had 2 from them that have been flawed. I would not go on the internet or go on YouTube and slate them. To me, the problems, they accepted the problems, they replaced the canvases, they paid for the postage and everything, but you would expect that. But there are some companies that I've heard of that just ignore, like customers are complaining, and they just never get a reply. Home Craftology have always been very helpful. I was very pleased to see that they've switched. I think that'll be good for them as well, because they won't have the problems with air bubbles and things, which can just happen because of the process, the double-sided glue. So that was nice to hear that they've switched over. But at times, I just feel that some people are just too quick to jump into a group or a forum or whatever and just rant and rave about, I got this and there's a thread under the glue, without contacting the company and trying to get it resolved. Because the impact on that type of thing can be massive to a small company. Somebody writes a bad comment, and then somebody else out of the however many 100 or 1,000 people are in the group writes something else, and then suddenly it's that company aren't any good because 2 people complained. There's no comment about how many hundreds or thousands of customers have been happy. The negativity is what gets picked up. So anytime I've had any problem, I've always contacted the company directly first to see what they say, and I've never so far had a company that haven't been polite and haven't been extremely helpful, and I appreciate that. I've worked in Copenhagen as a distribution manager for 6 years, and I know the problems that can happen in distribution. Like, people will complain about boxes being crushed. It probably isn't actually the company that crushed it. But then you could argue, well, the boxes aren't strong enough to handle the postage. But again, if you get a crushed box with a crushed canvas and you contact the company, they'll send out another one. Now, that costs the company money to do that. So it's not in their interests to send stuff that's damaged. It costs them, and I think it's worth taking that into account. It depends on the company, though. Some companies are massive. they produce a lot of different things, not just diamond paintings. It's just one of the many things that they ship. And they just want things out the door as fast as possible. And if they get some complaints, well, it's no big deal. We ship thousands or tens of thousands of things, and a few complaints, no big deal. The smaller companies, one complaint is a big deal. And that's the way I looked at it. Anyway. This one was one of my favourites to work on. This is when I realised that I really like working on brightly coloured diamond paintings. This is, I'm trying to remember now, it's a, I can't remember, 70 by 60. It's not an 80 by 100, because that's the biggest I've done. It's whatever size is just below that. So maybe a 70 by 80, something like that. This was a Christmas present for my stepdaughter. She's got an Alsatian pup, or it was a pup at the time, and this looks so much like him. He does. He sits there and puffs and pants, and his tongue hangs out. As soon as I saw it, I thought that is a perfect one. So I got that and did it as a Christmas present, and it was definitely one of my favourites to work on. And this is the one that I did for my other stepdaughter. This is the New York skyline, and she's visited New York. She loves New York, so this is a Diamond Art Club, and it was the first time I had seen AB drills. It's really nice. Again, you can see lots of colour, and I've sort of discovered that I like brightly coloured diamond paintings. Again, it was framed at the same place in Copenhagen. I don't feel confident enough to make frames that look good. So this was another Christmas present. This one was my first custom, and it is an 80 by 100. And in that picture, there are 350 bags of 310. Hi, Nicole. Thanks for dropping in. Just talking through some of the diamond paintings that I've done. I'm just slowly getting used to this software. So I thought I would put some pictures together and just talk about the different diamond paintings. So this is a 80 by 100, the biggest one I've done. And this is one I actually did time. I timed it because I was curious, how long will this take me? It took me from the first drill to the last drill, not including setting up, it took 202 hours. It looks like there's only about 5 colours in it. There are actually 47 colours in this. And I forget how many shades of green, just to get that effect. It's misleading looking at it. So a lot more colour than you think. Yeah, 202 hours. So the story behind this is Jake Green is a friend of mine. He's a musician who lives in Copenhagen, and I met him a few years ago at a buskers event in a small town outside Copenhagen. And I listened to him playing. I thought, this guy is really good. I bought a CD off him, and then that was that. I found out that he lived in Copenhagen, and I live in Copenhagen, so that was kind of weird because we were in a place called Sorrow, which is miles. It's about an hour and a half away from Copenhagen. So I bought his album, and months later, I had bought tickets to go and see a guy called Kenny Wayne Shepherd. If you're not interested in blues music, you'll probably never have heard of Kenny Wayne Shepherd. But I had bought tickets for Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and I had got in touch with Jake. So I had him on Facebook and I had him in Messenger. And he sent me a message and he said, just to let you know that the band are playing at Amager in Copenhagen and he gave me the date. And I thought, that date rings a bell. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for dropping in. How's the finger? I thought that date rings a bell. So I checked the concerts that I was going to, and it was Kenny Wayne Shepherd was playing in Amager on the same night. So I messaged him back and I said, are you sure that's right? Because Kenny Wayne Shepherd's playing there on that night. And he said, yeah, we're the support band. So the first time I saw Jake, he was a busker with a guitar singing in the street. The second time I saw him, he was in Amager on stage with his band as the support for Kenny Wayne Shepherd. So that was pretty cool. And then they were support band for Walter Trout, another pretty famous blues guy, down in Christiania. And I mean, I've I've met Jake a lot since then. He plays the pubs and clubs around Copenhagen, and he was bringing out a solo acoustic album, and he contacted me and he said, "Would you like to come and actually be there, like in the studio, not behind the screen, like in actual studio where he was recording?" He had, I think, 30 people in, so we were actually sitting right in beside him when he was recording the album, and I videoed quite a bit of it as well. So that was really cool. Just and then he put our names in the album. Everybody that attended it, our names are all in the album cover. So that was nice. So I did this. I didn't tell Jake I was doing it. He had no idea. All I did, this album at that time was his new album that had just come out, and it's called 7 Years After, and it's because it was 7 years after Jake had given up his day job and became a professional musician. He recorded this album exactly 7 years after he left his job. So that's why it got the name. And I thought, I looked at it and I was thinking, I want to do that as a diamond painting, and it's like poster size, so it's 80 by 100. But I don't want to tell him. So I thought, how am I going to get the artwork for it? So I just sent him a message on Messenger, just a random message, and I said, do you have a high definition picture of the album cover? And he just said, yeah, hang on a minute. And he sent it. And he never ever asked me why I wanted it. So that was fine. So I had a high definition picture and I sent it to Home Craftology and said, can you do this for me as a custom? And they did. So I worked on it and finally finished it. Waited until I got it framed as well. And then I sent Jake a picture and I said, I've got a new hobby. Now, I had been doing diamond painting for a while by this time, but I'd never told him. And I said, I've got a new hobby. And he said, what is it? And I took a picture of one black drill on my fingertip and I said, this. And there was a silence in the messenger, just nothing. And I could just imagine them sitting there thinking, what is that? And then I said, I made something out of this, and I sent him the picture. He was amazed. Like he'd never heard of diamond painting. He was really surprised to see it. So that was really cool to do that one. I don't know if I would go for one with so much black at that size again though. Sorry, put me off black for a while. So then, getting onto this was I'd been looking through the diamond painting pictures on all the websites, and I was beginning to realise you start to see the same pictures again and again and again. And I thought, I live in Copenhagen. I've been here for nearly 9 years, and I've taken a lot of pictures around Copenhagen. So I started to think about the pictures that I'd taken. I had actually looked on the internet for Copenhagen diamond painting pictures. Hi, Estella. Thanks for dropping in. So I started looking at pictures that I'd taken around Copenhagen, and I had this one that I took. This was taken in one winter when the canals were frozen over. So the sort of little white circle that you can see, it was made in the ice. These boats are frozen into the canal. So, cool. That's cool. So I thought I'll maybe try and get this done as a custom. And I'd heard about a company in England called Smith's Beads, and I thought I'll give them a try just to try a different company more than anything else. So I got in touch with them, and I sent the picture. Well, I actually tweaked the picture because I didn't want just a straight picture. I thought about it. This is Newhaven in Copenhagen. It's one of the oldest parts of Copenhagen, and I thought it would be nice to do it as like an oil painting or something rather than just a picture. So I edited it to make it more like an oil painting, and then I wanted it to look like cross stitch, like old fashioned cross stitch, but with the diamond painting shine. So that was what I was aiming for when I went with that, and it turned out really good. I was surprised how well it turned out, and I was very pleased. So that was the sort of start of the idea of converting pictures that I've taken into diamond paintings. Everybody will recognise this probably. Diamond Art Club, the Little Tin Soldier. The reason that I chose this one is because the Little Tin Soldier is a Hans Christian Andersen story. Hans Christian Andersen lived in Copenhagen, and he's buried in Copenhagen. So that was why I picked it, purely because it's a Hans Christian Andersen story. This was the second Diamond Art Club. The New York skyline that I showed earlier, that was my first Diamond Art Club. And I still remember the first time I touched the canvas, which sounds really weird. But when I took the canvas out of the bag and touched it, it's just like so different from anything else. And it was also the first time that I'd seen A-B drills. So there's some A-Bs in this one, and there's some A-Bs in the New York skyline as well. And then we get back to the Copenhagen thing. I was again browsing through my pictures, trying to decide what to get done as a custom. And I found this one that I took in Valby. That it's a suburb of Copenhagen. I was just out wandering, taking pictures, which I do a lot. And I was walking down the street and I saw this graffiti on a couple of old wooden doors. Took a picture. 3 years, 4 years later, was sitting looking at it and thought that would make a nice diamond painting. So I contacted Mike again at Smith's Beads, said, okay, I've got another one, and I sent it to him. So Mike set this one up for me, and I think it turned out really, really good. So I didn't do much with that. I mean, basically it's the original picture. The only thing that I did was enhance the colour a bit, just to make it really pop. But I never did anything else. So that is graffiti that is still in Valbu in Copenhagen. I'm sure it's probably a lot more faded than it was 3 or 4 years ago. But I just thought it was a really cool picture, very different from anything that I'd seen. So that's another one that's in what I call the Copenhagen collection. And then this one, Confetti Nightmare. This is a picture that I took of the Hans Christian Andersen statue in Copenhagen, in Kongens Have, which is the King's Garden, and that's beside Rosenborg Castle. I took this picture one summer, and it's a statue of Hans Christian Andersen reading a book. He's got a book open in his hand, and he's obviously reading to people. So on the plaque on the side of the base, it represents the ugly duckling, which was one of his stories. So I decided to do that, and then I decided to really try and come up with something different. And again, I didn't want just a picture. So I came up with this design, and virtually everything in it is confetti. 90 colours, I think. Yeah, I think it was 90 colours, this one. So, yeah, that took a while. And then I took a break. So I went from 90 colours to this. It was just a little fun one that I got on Amazon. Loads of bright colours, and I just needed a break after doing that big one. But again, very colourful. Yeah, a lot of people say that, the confetti, but it was the style that I was trying to go for, and I really like the finished piece. I mean, the whole point was it was more to do how it was going to look in the end. It actually is more colourful than it looks in the pictures. I can't quite get the pictures right because of the glass. There's a lot more. It's hard to explain, but there's a lot more colour in it than it looks. No, that's it. So those were just the pictures that I had sitting. I might try and find all of the ones that I've done, but I just thought I would talk about some of them. And this is the one that I'm working on just now. So all I need to do is finish this black area, and then I'll post it up on the Facebook, and I'll put it up on Instagram. Obviously, it won't just be this bit that I'll be showing. I'll be showing what I've done so far. Yeah, I mean, I would think most people wouldn't want to do something like that, but there are a few people who like the challenge. But I was just after the look. That was the style that I thought that looks really different from anything I've seen. So I like to try and do things that are different, but definitely not a beginner's one. So I don't know if I missed comments while I was prattling on there. Got tired of all the same topics. Yeah, that's exactly how I was feeling as well. Just realised that's out of focus. New software. That's a bit better. There we go. Yeah, I was finding I was starting to see the same pictures again and again and again. And I just thought, okay, I'm going to try and do something different. As I said, I hadn't seen any pictures of Copenhagen, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try that. Yeah, I think it's the thing as well is the fact it's unique. You know that nobody else has it. Like for any custom. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Angie, it was just I only thought about this maybe half an hour ago. That's why it was just I just grabbed pictures on my phone, sent them, emailed them to the computer, and then just made that little slideshow. But it's sorry, this software and the new camera, it's just given me ideas for things that I can do, doing these WIPs. It's sorry, instead of just watching me going dot 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 and talking, I can bring up other things. If anybody's, I don't know if anybody is interested, but if anybody's interested in Hans Christian Andersen and his stories, I've done podcasts about Hans Christian Andersen. I did one about his life, which I found really interesting. I think the most surprising thing that I found out was when he was at school and they asked him what he wanted to be when he was older. He said he wanted to be a writer, and his classmates and his teachers laughed because they think that Hans Christian Andersen actually was dyslexic. So his teachers and his classmates laughed at him when he said he wanted to be a writer. But he ended up being Denmark's most famous writer, and I think his books have been translated into something like 156 languages, 126, can't remember the exact number. But I did a podcast about the whole thing, about Hans Christian Andersen. He met Charles Dickens as well. I never knew that. He went to England, stayed with Charles Dickens and his family. Was meant to be going for a few days, stayed for 5 weeks, eventually got kicked out. So that was quite funny. So if you're interested in Hans Christian Andersen, the man, you can check out the podcast. And it's on my website, iccopenhagen.com, which I think I put in here. Again, I'm still trying to remember what I'm doing. I can't find it. It's IC Copenhagen. That's EYESEE Copenhagen.com. I've started a section about diamond painting as well, but it's very early days for that. But I have podcasts. I have started reading Hans Christian Andersen's stories. I can't even remember how many I've done now. Not that many. He did over 160 stories. And the idea is that eventually I'm going to read all of them in chronological order. So that's going to take a long time. But if you like Hans Christian Andersen, you might be interested in that. I also do podcasts about Denmark, some history. Did a funny one about the first time I went into Copenhagen and went into a shop and I couldn't speak any Danish. There's a sort of mixture of different things. So every second one is a Hans Christian Andersen story. WIP and read. I got asked about that when I was using Periscope. I wouldn't do it because I would get distracted. I would stop to answer questions and then I would get sidetracked. Uh, I wanted to do the stories so that basically somebody can be, well, like in your case, Lisa, you could be driving, sitting in the car, waiting on a customer, whatever, and just be listening to the podcast, or you can just be relaxing and listening to the podcast, whatever, cycling, jogging, whatever. And there's no interruptions, it's just the story. I hadn't heard most of them, so the ones that I've done. I think they're really good. I think they're really funny. I was quite surprised because I don't know why. I always thought Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales like The Ugly Duckling, Princess and the Pea, and then I read his first one, and a witch gets her head chopped off very close to the start, and I thought that doesn't really seem like a child's book to me. There's quite a lot of death in his books, which I was quite surprised about, but I like them. So I thought I would do them as podcasts, and anybody that might be interested can have a listen. I also did stuff about the differences in culture between Denmark and probably most of the rest of the world. There is one called Only in Denmark. That is quite a surprising one. I'll just leave it at that. I need wax. Send in the wax. Okay, see if I can find that thing. Yeah. I found it. ICCopenhagen.com. Whoa. There you go. ICCopenhagen.com. That's the website. There's a lot of stuff on there. I'm really interested in music. There's a music section that I started where it is music from independent musicians. And Jake Green, that I mentioned earlier, he's actually in there twice because there's a band album, the Jake Green Band, and then the solo album. People can go and listen to 10 seconds of each track, and there are links to every artist's social media stuff, YouTube, Facebook, website, whatever. I got to know nearly all of those musicians through Periscope. Most of them are in America. So if you're interested in music, you might want to go and have a look and listen to that. I also have a section called, well, I don't actually know if it's still going to be there now. I don't know if Periscope has finally pulled the plug, but I started a thing called Tammy's Kitchen, where we would do live streams, and Tammy would cook. And 1 week she would do, or one, not they weren't every week, but she would do one where it was a Danish dish, and then one that wasn't, and then one that was, and one that wasn't. That was the sort of general idea. We really enjoyed doing them, and I'm hoping that eventually I reach the criteria on YouTube so that I can use my mobile and do the same thing, except on YouTube Live. So instead of just being totally diamond painting and nothing else, I would like to add in, maybe try and do the Tammy's Kitchen thing again, so people can see things that she makes and maybe get ideas. The other thing is, if I can go mobile, I can actually go for walks around Copenhagen like I used to do with Periscope, and I can show people Copenhagen, can answer questions and things in real time. That's what I'm used to doing. Coming onto YouTube is kind of weird for me, the fact that when I'm doing the videos, normally there's no interaction. But I mean, I enjoy doing them, but I like this sort of thing better because I never know exactly what's going to happen, what we're going to be talking about. And that it was the same in Periscope. I would walk around Copenhagen showing where the Queen of Denmark lives, Copenhagen Opera House, Newhound, Tivoli, the second oldest amusement park in the world. The canals, I went out in the canal trips and did live streams from the canals. Everything and anything really, and just answered questions. Sometimes we never even spoke about Copenhagen. Just like we've done live streams where we never spoke about diamond painting. It just really depends who comes in and just how the conversation goes. So ideally that's what I would like to do, but I need to hit certain criteria. I need 1,000 followers on YouTube and 4,000 hours watch time. So I think I'm just over 500 followers and I'm about 2,500 hours view time. So there's not much I can do about that. All I can do is go on, hope people subscribe and join in, and eventually we get there. And then for me, that's when things will really open up. I mean, it still will be based on diamond painting, but it's just I feel I can do so much more. But I need to be mobile to do it. Okay, that's that section done. Ta-da! I think you can actually just about make that out. It's a forest, tall, thin trees. That's the sun. And then we've got an old, gnarly black tree here. This is just the side of it. But I'm going to go and take a picture. And I'll put it up in the Diamond Painting Gym Facebook group. And I'll post it up on Instagram. So that's it for today's little live. Yeah, I like that, Angie. I like it to be random, and it really does depend on just who comes in and what gets mentioned. I mean, we were talking about dogs, we've been talking about different things. Oh, wow. Nightmare. It's going to be a long day or a long evening. Yeah. I haven't done it yet, touch wood. But I think it happens to everybody at some point. So just checking the drills are flat, and they are. Yeah, so that's it. I'm going to go off, take a couple of pictures. Oh yeah, that's be the same. We have hardwood floors. It makes a huge difference. So thanks for dropping in and listening to my chatter. And have a good day or good evening wherever you are. I'm not sure when I'll be back on, but in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.